best song. It's the best song in the album.
Bitch, you bugging me like Ziz. 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 Yeah. So what you mean? Gotta get my green, gotta get my mind right. I'm a fiend for the like, head to the light. It might seem what I like, but it's not. Everybody wanna give, but they don't got discipline. Bobby on that ish again. Got big games like Michigan. Don't think they listen, and they bugging out like Ziz. Bitch, they bugging out like Ziz. Yeah, suck on my blood type. Be positive, logic was born to rise to this occasion. It's obvious my hobby was rhyming hot as my hobby.
That shit was really.
Water gave me a fucking tip job, bro.
Literally, bro. That water,
around.
just penetrated me.
Nah, I'm good, bro. I'm good.
Birthday jump. Glass getting up.
Bro, you gotta try it.
Again.
Try it
Fine.
once.
Let's go, Max.
How did that happen?
Max is going.
Let's go, Max.
Let's go, birthday boy.
Happy
birthday to you, dear Max. Jump. That was crazy.
No money, my daddy no money, my family no money, the government's taking it from me. I'm hungry, I need it. I turn on the television and envision the food that they got. I can eat it. I teleport. 8 years old in the basement with my daddy, girlfriend. She big breasted, shoved her tongue all the way down my.
All right. Good morning. So let's jump in. Let's talk about what we're looking at going into the morning here. CPI at 8:30 this morning. We have now taken. Let me zoom out here and kind of show you what I'm looking at. So first thing I want to note is kind of the weekly profile. The only weekly profile that I could see us possibly put in here is a Wednesday high. Wednesday just came up from CPI, took out the Tuesday high. This is when I'd like to see us build more structure and start to sell back off today, honestly. I think we've just had such a massive, just rally here. Again, we can absolutely just continue higher, but I'm going to be looking for signs for us to want to start to sell off. So going into the day, I'm a little bit loose of a bias and want to see how this internal price action plays out. The hard part is CPI opened and took both sides of this range. So now we kind of are playing the CPI range. When CPI came back down, respected consequent encroachment of this imbalance, just started out building a slower time frame price action. So going into the morning, I kind of want to be patient, see what happens if we can kind of take both sides of this. I would want this to be the manipulation leg. If this fair value gap gets ran through, I would expect all this liquidity to get ran through. Just ran it, should run through all these lows. I'm gonna take a little scalp here for shorts. Gonna take off 3 at this little low here. I want to see us follow through here though. I'll put the rest at break even once we take this. But we'll probably come back to this imbalance too, so that will be another separate model. But I'd like to see us just sell off here. Okay, partial here. Stop at break even. I'd like to see us continue to sell. You can take your next contract off here at this low. I'm going to scale one more. I'm going to let this last one go. like to see this hold bearish. Oh, my stop is like right at that fair value gap though. That's kind of hard. Might give this a little bit more room just because that fair value gap, that bearish imbalance. In fact, an ad here doesn't even look too bad. I'm going to go ahead and add. I like the morning SMT. I got taken, got displacement, nice breaker here, as well as this fair value gap. Good rid. I'm risking pretty much the profit on that last trade. I'd like to see us at least come back to consequent encroachment of this bigger time frame wick. SL in place, just letting the market do its thing here. Now, if I'm being completely honest, bigger time frame has a lot of room to the downside. Want to kind of leave a runner here, like a runner, and try to play the weekly profile and just leave a short for the day and see if it happens. But my main PT is going to be all the way to sell side. I'll probably end up taking something off at consequent encroachment of the wick, though. I'll take 3 here. And I'll take 1 here. Again, enter the trade. PT, SL set, no expectations, no idea of the outcome. You simply put on risk, you let the market do its thing, and you be patient and you watch. First PT there, stop, move to break even. This looks really good in my opinion. We could come up, take this high one more time, but again, I don't want to adjust my risk here. I just want to keep it at break even. A little bit below for commission side stuff. But I think this looks really, really good. I want to see us just start to dump here. Me treating the market like a dog. Here, boy. Here, boy. No, I think this has a lot of potential to run because this aligns with weekly profile being the Wednesday high. Wednesday comes up, CPI takes the high, and we then rebalance price. So that's why I want to see this runner go here. Now, I don't think we're going to dump. We could dump through this. I hope so. But I think we might sweep this low and then reverse a little bit. We do have an SMT here at this little low. I'd like to see that just get ran though. All right, NQ, I know you want to mess around. I know you want to be like, "Oh, I'm going higher. I'm going higher." Can we just let's get the job done with, all right? Thank you. Just get back to work. There we go. Bing bang. All right, stop moved on the runner. Letting the runner go here. All right, I'm done. That's how we fucking do it, baby. Yes, sir. That was a absolute beauty. Masterclass, runner's still going. Look at that entry. Those exits along the way. That runner is going for the hunt. Beauty. Beauty, beauty, beauty. All right, what are we up right now? 1,400. We needed this one. We needed that, bro. Oh my god. After Monday, dude, I just been waiting for a trade like this. Ugh. Thank the heavens. We are so back. We are so back, baby. All right. I'm done. I'm out. All right. Hopefully everybody's doing well. Welcome. You guys just saw the recording of today's trade. Let's kind of talk about where the accounts are right now. I know we kind of had a road bump, or actually I don't think I didn't post the videos because Max just left my filmer. So right now I'm taking over. I'm going to be basically doing the rest of the series probably every other couple days and just do the last 3 days in one video and talk to you guys about the trades, talk to you guys about where the account's at. Don't worry, this account, I'm not just flaking on this. You guys will see the progress of this account, but it'll probably be just in combined videos instead of like one every single day. So let's talk about the journal. I want to go through and talk to you guys because it's honestly been a really wacky journey. It's been 4 green days in a row, 4 red days in a row, and then today I just had the biggest day of the challenge at $1,500, which is just a great trade. Definitely a weight off the shoulder, like a big breath of fresh air, because it was not fun going through this. And this is what I want to talk about today in this journaling session, in this video, is these last 4 days in the losses that I took were just not good whatsoever. And I want to talk to you guys about what was going on through this time. What did I do wrong? What are things that I could have changed? And what were the things that I did right today in my mindset going into today to help me get out of this losing streak? So number one, these last 4 days, I want to start with yesterday, or on Monday, because Monday I was extremely upset about. Now, this is not an excuse. This is just something I want to be completely transparent with you guys is because this is the whole point of this challenge, is to be transparent and talk to you guys about the process of actually growing an account like this. I had a lot of shit I had to deal with outside of trading on Monday, that a lot of stuff with family, with business that like just got dumped on my plate and was not good for the mental. There was no reason I should have been trading. And I ended up taking 5 trades. 4 of them, I don't even remember what they were. Just dumb little scalps, dumb little stupid shit. And I remember I was down $50 on the day, and I stepped away. I was like, all right, I'm done. Like, I'm just going to, like, there was just no reason for me to be even trading, right? Like, I wasn't focusing on the challenge. I wasn't focusing on building good habits. I was focusing on all the stuff that I had to deal with outside of trading, and I was not present in the market. I wasn't present in focusing on my habits. And I ended up going to lunch with a buddy of mine, and I ended up doing something I just never do. And I looked at the market on my phone, and we were literally doing absolutely nothing. This is what the market looked like. We were literally doing absolutely nothing, consolidating and squeezing all day. I entered 10 contracts, and the reason I entered 10 contracts is because I couldn't even look at my risk on my phone. I didn't even take the time to look at the risk. I was just in a bad mental state, ended up just entering and immediately getting stopped like nothing even happened, and I lost $400 because I was just over-risked, dumb, at lunch, pressed the button, which is just bad, right? And this is so important. You have to recognize when these types of things happen. Number one, you have to use it going forward, because basically what I wrote here is no setup at all, was in a bad mental state today while at lunch, took a trade on my phone, which I never do. Trade should have never happened and ended up being my biggest loss on the challenge for no reason. You have to learn from these mistakes. Can't be focused on making it back the next time you come into the market. Learn from it and wipe it from your head. The most important thing when those types of things happen is immediately, you have to sit there. It is very upsetting. Like, I was pissed. I was not happy whatsoever. Because I knew that's not what I promote with trading. That's not who I am as a trader. I haven't had that happen to me in a really long time of me like going on tilt like that. But it's also like the pressure of doing this challenge, showing you guys, and then having to deal with all the stuff outside. It's like, I'm more than capable of it. I just was shaken up at that moment with all the shit that I had to deal with. But basically the mindset with things, and when you go through things that outside of trading do not bring you into the present moment when you are trading, you have to be able to sit there and recognize saying, I should not be trading right now. Because we come into the market, if you're not aligned in your mental state outside of the market, it's not going to be in the market. In the market, you need to be able to be completely transparent with yourself, completely focused on the market, nothing else, completely level-headed. And if you're not, you shouldn't be trading, and that's just that, period. Like, you just shouldn't be trading, period. And now that we've got that uncovered, right? Now that it's inevitable this is just going to happen. Like, this is just going to happen. You're human. You're going to make mistakes like this. Let's talk about what you do after, because that is, to me, the more important part. Because what happens to most people is they'll make a mistake like this, and then they'll continue to trade. They'll continue to go on a tilt, and they'll just blow it up even more. Like, they'll just blow up their whole fucking account, or a massive loss, or whatever it is, and they'll just lose straight up all of it. You have to push the ego to the side. You have to say, Justin, you made a mistake. That's it. Like, you just have to admit you made a mistake, and you have to push it to the side. You got to learn from it. You know what you did wrong. It's like, you know right when you take the loss what you did wrong. You don't have to sit there and fucking contemplate and be like, okay, what did I do right? Like, you fucking know immediately you did something wrong. So recognize you did something wrong. Accept you did something wrong. Tell yourself you did something wrong, and tell yourself, I'm not going to do it again. From there, you wipe it from your fucking head. Because when you go into the market focusing on what happened yesterday, focusing on making back that money, whatever it is, you're going to be constantly just looking to put green on your P&L. Like, when we're on a loss streak like this, right? When we talk about getting out of a losing streak, we get so focused on just putting green on the P&L. Like, we just need to see a little green just so it fuels us back up. Because we feel like, you start thinking like you don't even know what you're doing. I don't even know what I'm trading. I don't even know what my setup looks like. Your mind just falls into this pitfall, and you think that you just don't know anything anymore after you go on a losing streak. And it's just not true, right? And all you need is just a little bit of that conviction back. And so you're hunting for just a little bit of green, and you look for opportunity that a lot of the time isn't there. So my process of this whole entire week, these last 2 weeks, $230 loss, $400 loss, $182, $440. After these, I was like, oh my fucking God. I was up $2K on the challenge, and now I'm only up $800. What am I doing, right? What can I do now, right? So the first thing I got to do is I got to sit there and I got to say, I'm at $800. That is where my start should be, nothing previously. Because when you go into the market focused on whatever the idea of your profit is, your decisions will always reflect what that is. So if I go into the market saying, and I have the idea of the track record of the journey that I'm on, saying, okay, well, I was at 2K and now I'm at 800. Well, I was at 2K. I have to be back at 2K now. Like, I have to be back at 2K. And when you have that mindset, you're always going to go into the market. You're going to see opportunity that's not there, and you're just going to just take really fucking dumb trades. And the best thing that you can do is just completely forget that there's an account. Completely forget that you even took a loss. Completely forget why you're even trading the account. Completely forget that money's even involved to begin with. And yesterday, Tuesday, I spent time meditating. I spent time way more by myself because I had somebody staying with me too. Like during this entire week, I had my brother staying with me. I had my buddy Max staying with me. I had no alone time whatsoever, which also clouded my vision. There were so many things outside of life going on. And it clearly reflected in my trading, right? Clearly. And it's so important. And I'm honestly very thankful that it happened, because it just was a reassurance to me, like, how important it is to be able to separate life and separate trading. And not necessarily just separate it, but realize that they're one and the same. If your life is all over the place, your trading is going to be all over the place. And that's just simply how it is, and you have to be able to recognize that and take full control of it. So going into today, my goal was just completely wiped. I woke up at 5 o'clock this morning. I went outside. I went to the rooftop. I read. I meditated super early in the morning. I watched the sunrise. I came downstairs, made some coffee, or not came downstairs. Came back to my apartment, made some coffee, looked at the charts, and I just focused on being an observer. I didn't look at my P&L. I didn't look at the TradeZella. I didn't look at anything. I just focused on being a trader and looking to see what the market was showing me. I had no intention of making money back. I had no intention of making money. I had no intention of posting this video. I had no intention of anything instead of just being in the front of the market and being an observer and trading. That's pretty much it. And I ended up being rewarded for that. I ended up getting a fantastic setup today, and I ended up executing pretty much flawlessly on it. And one trade wiped out every one of these trades. On this day, I had 2 losses. This day, I had 2 losses, 4 losses, 5 losses, 6, 7, 8 losses. One trade ended up wiping out 8 losses. One trade. Just because I was able to have, number one, conviction with it, and I had good risk. I am a risk-based trader. I focus way, way, way more, and I think it's way more important to focus on this, on risk than win rate. Now, these stats are still nowhere near where I personally want them to be, because I still think I have not been performing good at all on this challenge so far. Like, we're up 2,400, but to my standard and to what I am as a trader and to what I want myself to be, this is not where I want it to be. This needs to be at least above 55. Profit factor needs to be at least 3. This is fine. Win percentage is fine. I would love this to be higher. This is not too bad either, but I would still want this to be a little bit higher. 3.2 is not bad. It's great. Like this is really good stats to a normal person. I'm not a fucking normal person, and my goal is to be great. And if it's not great, then there's improvement to do. So I'm grateful for today, but I'm not going to over-flourish and be like, wow, Justin, let's go. I still got a lot more work to do in showing you guys how the growth throughout this account. But let's take a look at the trade. Let's actually look at the charts and jump in and show you guys what this trade was. I kind of wanted to go you through the process of kind of what everything was first, and then we can go through the trade that was today. So going into the day, my bias was actually pretty loose. I had a bearish bias that was pretty loose, and the reason why I was more loose is because I wanted to see how the morning price action was going to envelop. We had CPI this morning, and what I noticed is something on the weekly profile. So if you can see these red lines that I have drawn in, this is Monday open, Tuesday open, Wednesday open, Thursday, Friday, and I was trying to understand what the weekly profile was going to be, because right now it just looked like a classic expansion week, and the only thing that could potentially happen is since CPI lined up on a Wednesday, I was looking for a Wednesday reversal. So I wanted to see a morning high get taken, like we had here, the Tuesday high, Wednesday CPI candle opened up, and notice what we do. This is important. This is extremely important. I want you to notice this. What is all the sell side to the left of us here? Pretty much just this. Why is this the sell side? Well, we had this low here, this low, right? This was low resistance. And then to the left of us, there's just nothing here. It's simply just an imbalance on a bigger time frame. But this 15-minute fair value gap, right, becomes a target. So buy side and sell side both get taken when CPI opens up. If we look at the CPI candle, if I was to zoom in, CPI opens up, boom, boom. We wick both sides within 2 minutes. So now both liquidity pools are taken. This is what I want you guys to look at in your charts, because this is something that people don't realize. And that is a little trick. When CPI takes both liquidity pools, the CPI range becomes the range in which you want to trade. That becomes the new buy side, sell side. Normally, if we take both like this on a regular chart, I would be way more patient to see what the structure looks like. But because it's CPI and we take both sides of the range, and then we can learn to align it with the bias, which is I'm bearish. What are some reasons I'm bearish? Well, we're back in OTE of this previous price leg. We're in a bigger time frame for value gap. It's Wednesday reversal. 15-minute high just got taken, right? Buy side just got taken. So now I'm starting to be, okay, a lot of bearish tendencies are starting to open up here. We have a big wick here. I'm going to care a lot about consequent encroachment of this too, right? We have a big wick. I know a sensitive part of this is going to be consequent encroachment, which is the midpoint of this wick. So I'm going to draw that in. But I'm going to mark the buy side and sell side from the CPI range. And my goal going into the morning was to play the range that was formed through CPI. So I'm going to clear up this and we'll kind of redraw these in throughout the way. So market ends up opening. And I'm looking to see manipulation early on, right? So first thing. NQ runs up, takes the buy side level, takes the recent high that was formed by CPI. We put in an SMT. This is the first thing I want to see. Boom. So now what I'm looking at is, okay, we've put in an SMT. This is most likely going to become a protected high. If this 1 minute fair value gap gets ran through, right, this is a change in order flow. If this gets ran through, I'm expecting this to become an inverse. Where do I expect price to go if this becomes an inverse? Well, all of this generated sell-side liquidity. Since this is in an imbalance this low, this is where I want to see price go first, and then probably this low, and then continue from there. But if we were to displace through this, this would become a breaker on the bigger time frame, and I'd look to trade both of these. This little internal scalp here, just targeting this and this, but also trade the pullback and enter on this fair value gap, or on this breaker. So I zoom into the 15 second, and I'm watching, boom. 15 second fair value gap opens up once we broke through the 1 minute, right? So now I want to see this act as an inverse through the 1 minute, and I enter in short. So I get tapped in short on the 15 second fair value gap. I was in 3 contracts. I took 1 contract right here. I took 1 contract right here, and I moved my stop to break even. So now this was the first trade I took. I was in 3 contracts, 1 out on this internal low, 2 out here. I'm just looking for an internal scalp, right? Because I know we're probably going to go pull back anyway, right? So I zoom back out. I'm like, all right, I'm in 1 contract here. My stop's at break even. But then I'm looking at this. I'm like, actually, there's no reason for me to put my stop at break even, because where my stop was pretty much right here in this fair value gap, like pretty much right here. My stop aligned perfectly with this fair value gap. But if I'm looking at the model, I'm like, I want to see price go to that fair value gap anyway and reject and then continue lower, right? Because I want to see this become the breaker. I want to see this fair value gap get tapped, and I want to see price sell back off. So this became a new entry. Price ends up coming back into this breaker. I zoom in. Once I see this tap here, I enter in short, and I add to this position. So my stop that was originally here, I actually move up here, and now I add 5 contracts. So I was in 1 contract left from the runner of this other position. I now add 6 contracts, have my stop here, and I now scaled back into this position. We end up holding the breaker, selling off. My first PT was consequent encroachment of the bigger time frame wick. I then drew in my standard deviation, right, from the manipulation leg to see where price could possibly run towards. Again, perfectly lining up the first standard deviation with the sell side. And notice how this standard deviation lines up perfectly also with the imbalance we haven't touched, right? What does price do? What are the 4 reasons why markets move? Hunt liquidity, generate liquidity, rebalance to inefficiencies, rebalance to equilibrium. We are doing everything in this one moment. We had manipulation. We're going to hunt liquidity. We're going to rebalance to inefficiencies, and we're going to rebalance to equilibrium of the range. So there's a reason for price to go there, right? That's most important. Why am I leaving a runner? Because there's a reason for price to go there. It's not just like, oh, I think this looks good. That's pattern, right? There's an actual reason in relationship to the algorithm. We sell off, take my first partial here, 2 contracts. I had 2 contracts here, 3 contracts here, 1 contract here. We rebalance to this fair value gap. Could have been another possible add. I know a lot of people that didn't get this initial entry, they entered in here. We ended up selling off, took off 3 contracts there, boom, and we ended up selling off here, put in a little internal SMT. And we ended up selling off, and my last PT got hit right there and literally caught the bottom. So again, what happens when standard deviation gets respected? Notice here, standard deviation didn't get respected. We actually used it as an inverse. We broke through it, came back, held, continued lower. When standard deviation gets respected, what can we expect? Back to equilibrium of the previous price range. When you draw the previous price range here, What happens when we put in the slow? SD gets respected, and we run straight back to equilibrium, to the tick. Let me show you guys so you know I'm not bullshitting. Here are the executions from today. Here's the P&L. Oh, it actually just re-updated, but you can see the account here. TradeZella. So, overall, great day today. Hopefully, you all enjoyed this video. Hopefully, you got something out of this. Again, challenge account's doing well. Today was great. Much needed for the challenge. Not happy with this other previous days. Learned my lesson. Gonna look to shape up these stats in the coming days, in the coming weeks. We'll keep you guys updated with what this looks like. Again, my goal is to be completely transparent, take you guys through the highs, take you guys through the lows, what my mindset is throughout this whole entire process, and show you guys the process of just growing this. Because it doesn't seem like anybody else has the fucking balls to do it live. So, hopefully you guys enjoyed. I will see you on the next video. Enjoy your day. Peace.